Hello, my name is Nikolai and this is my first Python programming video, and today I'd like to talk to you about Python Lambda functions, Python anonymous functions, because yesterday I had a really interesting task on my job. There exists some paths to files as well as rules that check, for example, whether the path to the file contains a certain folder or not. And if it does, then the file was not copied at all. Such a check for exclusion of paths for certain files. The code that I'm going to demonstrate to you, it's only a model. It's not the code that I've been working with, but it's quite illustrative as an example for my topic. So I have a dictionary with a bunch of rules whose values are anonymous functions, Lambda functions. The first rule, path1, filters out a file if there are listed folders in its path. And the second rule, path2, on the contrary, checks for paths and if there are any, returns true. So, of course, we can realize this mechanism using if condition, using a switch case condition if it's more modern version of Python. But if we have a lot of rules that especially are similar, we will completely destroy the simplest rule of programming: don't repeat yourself, dry. And this is awful because we will have a lot of similar code in our Python file. It's not good at all. So as you can see, my solution was to replace if conditions with dictionary that contains values of Lambda functions. So we call dictionary with some key and execute Lambda functions that filtering our path using some variables that we give to this Lambda function, of course. Of course, you should remember that Lambda functions, it's something like regex, like regular expressions. You can not only make your life easier with them, but you can make your life much more harder than you expected. So you should use them wisely. You should think about your Lambda functions because sometimes it's really hard to understand what they're going to do. So in this case, I found that this will be really interesting way and really nice looking way to sort your file path. So let's check our code. I have a function print that just returns true or false, depending on the rule. In the first case, we check that the file path argument not in the path from the folders argument. As you can see, we get true. And in the second case, the file path is in one of the arguments from folders, so we get false in this case. This way, we can implement a large number of checks by reducing the amount of code. We don't use if, else, switch cases blocks. We just creating key with a value in the dictionary for each rule. So it's pretty simple. So huge thanks for watching. I will be glad of your comments and subscriptions. Content in English, not published often, but I will try to write as much as I can.